we can move ahead, write some code. When we declared this particular variable int a, we booked the memory like RAM, stored 10 in it, the address is hash. Then when we made p1 in the memory, what we stored in it, we will be storing hash in it, and it is having a address of, let's say, star. Then when we stored p2, it will store star. Then when we made, it is having modulo as the address. It is storing modulo as the input in its memory block. So when I simply gave an output or simply printed A, that means I printed this. What should be print? What should be the output of this statement? When I printed P1, what should be the output? Hash, correct? When I printed P2, star will be the output. Then when I printed P3, modulo will be the output. Making sense to everyone how these output are coming? So from this, we are able to understand the first line is going to print the value of A, and remaining three lines are going to print three different addresses. Making sense? Now to be precise, P1 will print hash, which is the address of A. P2 will print star, which is address of P2 will print star, which is address of P1. Yes, Shivam. Then P3 is printing hash, which is address of P2. Making sense to everyone what they are printing and how they are printing? Since now you know that how they are working, you are seeing the diagram. After seeing this, let's comment them out. Now if I do something like this, what should be the output? So when we dereference a particular single pointer, what it do, it goes, let's say the example of p1. Let's take the example of p1. P1 is this, storing the address as hash. If we dereference this p1, what it will do, it will go to the memory block and print the value which is stored inside this memory block. So now I have dereferenced P3, which is this memory block. It is storing the address modulus, which is address of this memory block. So what it will do, it will go to this memory block and print whatever inside it. Inside it, it's star. So it's gonna print star. We can make this star the print the output of star star P3. How we can divide it to be? We can simply do it something like this. When we do this, if we simply see this particular thing or a problem or a query, what it's gonna do? It's gonna dereference to the address which P3 is storing. This inner thing which is inside these brackets is gonna dereference to the address which P is storing, and it's gonna print or it's gonna get that particular value inside this bracket. When we did this, it returned a star inside this, and then again we had a dereferencing operator. So we simply dereferenced to the star memory block, and we got to see inside star there is a hash. So the output of this complete statement will be hash. Now it's a pretty obvious. If I did star again here, what it's gonna print 10. So this is the memory block of A hash. Then we have a memory block of P1 which is storing hash having address of star. Then we have P2 with the address stored as star inside it, modulo as the address of the block, and then we have P3 which is storing modulo. So when we dereference the P3, it's gonna point to star, it's gonna dereference to this particular memory block. The star is printed. When we dereference it twice, the hash will be the output. Then when the third time we dereference it, it's gonna eventually get to this point, the memory block of 10. Listen carefully. When I manipulated this memory block using my P3 pointer, all the pointers who are pointing towards this memory block will dereference to 50 when I changed it to 50. Making sense? Because this is P2. When we will derefer P2 twice, it's gonna print the value which is stored in this hash memory block. When we changed the value which is stored in this hash memory block using P3 pointer by dereferencing it thrice, we eventually changed the value which is stored in hash. So whenever particular pointer which have access to this particular memory block is gonna derefer now after this particular line is gonna eventually show the 50 as the output. Making sense? Yeah, I believe the logic is clear to everyone now.